Thanks for listening to Get in the Hole, your #1 stop for all things in the world of golf. Watch and subscribe anywhere you get your favorite shows on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Google, and more. Just search Get in the Hole. Get in the Hole is the official golf pod of the Underground Sports Philadelphia family of podcasts. Now let's get right into the action. Here's your hosts, Steve McAvoy and Ben Pirro.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
I think it's fascinating how Tiger Woods, like, despite all of his problems and all the things that, like, we can critique him on, the fact that the man has 83 trophies. First of all, where you get a cabinet big enough to hold 83 trophies is beyond me. But also, like, he only cared about 15 of them. I think that clip of Rory, like, just solidifies the fact that, like, Tiger is not only the greatest golfer ever, but I think just, like, the greatest, possibly the greatest athlete ever. Because how easy was it then to get the other, 70 some odd trophies? It's crazy.
Yeah, it's literally like he was just practicing those other weeks, and he was just so much better than everyone else that his practice was just a winner. And, like, it's not like he's, like, lacking in house space either. There's he could definitely fit the 83 if he wanted to.
He make a room.
But he just literally doesn't care. And it's just majors. And that even says something about, like, these new guys that are so into the mental game of it, and, like, maybe not caring makes it a little bit easier because you're not overthinking things. And he just went out there and practiced, and his practice was just so good that he won every single time he was out there.
And also, it's kind of funny. First of all, like, he won 5 Masters tournaments. I wonder if he has like the 5. Does he get the same green jacket every time, or does he have 5 green jackets sitting in his closet somewhere?
I don't know how that works. I'm curious. I'm actually super curious about that too now.
I feel like we talked about this before, Steve. Like the jacket stays at.
I think
Augusta,
the jacket
the year you win it.
The jacket might stay at Augusta, but you get like a locker at Augusta. Yeah. But, like, if you have 5, does that mean that you have 5 in your closet, or do you have, like? I know when you win the Masters, right? The person who has the nearest build, one of the cool things about the Masters, I'm not sure if you knew this, was when you go and you sign in at the Masters, they ask you what your jacket size is. On the random occurrence that you win, they find somebody at the club to take their jacket and put it on you in the case they win. So when Dustin Johnson won, abnormally like long arms, there's only one member of the club who had the correct arm length for Dustin Johnson, and the coat was a little too tight. But they were like, "This is the best thing we could do to fit you in it." How cool must that be? If, like, you're the guy who's like, "Yeah, my jacket's going on this guy if he wins," and they're like following you around, like dragging you to like make sure you don't like leave the premises for like the last 3 holes to make sure if he wins, you're on site and you're there.
That also adds so much pressure to the guys playing in the Masters. It's like, oh, on arrival, we need your jacket size. And it's like, oh, shit.
Well, yeah. I think it's fascinating because they ask your jacket size, and then the number that your caddy wears goes in the order that you show up. So whoever shows up next week and his caddy's wearing number 1, that guy's the first one to show up. And it's usually always like one of the young guys. And I heard Tiger tell a story once, and he was like, I think, forget who it was. This was like the might have been Jordan Spieth, actually. In the mid-2000s, let's just say it was Jordan Spieth, shows up and is like 7 hours earlier than everybody else. Showed up the day before everyone else. Got out there, was practicing at like 9 in the morning. Tiger pulls up at like 3 o'clock. And Tiger goes, "Who the fuck's this guy?" And his caddy's in the outfit. They're on the range. There's no one else there. And it was like, oh, all right. It's of course this kid making his debut. Caddy's wearing the number 1. He's scared shitless. He has no idea what's going on. So I think it's funny how all the veterans kind of like shit on the young guys who have the low numbers. But also I think the average of like guys who win the Masters, the average is like the 50s in terms of like the number that the caddy wears.
The only time the number being higher matters.
That's gonna be a prop bet that we're gonna have next week. Winning what number of the caddy?
Yeah. You get like 1 to 25, 25 to 50, or you get like 1 to 25 and 25 to 50. Which way is it on?
I'm surprised that isn't like a prop bet like on actual books. I've never seen that before.
Yeah. Do you guys remember Tony Finau on Full Swing? How he talked about how if he's like, he'll go and like come back if he's not his exact number that he got. I think that's wild too. Like golfers are just so superstitious. It's crazy.
Like I'm pretty sure if you look, like Tiger Woods has had the same number every single year that he's played. I'll have to go and like look into that later on. But it was like, I don't know, it's just really funny. Anyhow, welcome in. It's again the whole podcast. Steve McAvoy, Jake Dippold, and Kyle Bennett joining us for the first little half of the show. Kyle, some pretty cool things going on in Vineland, New Jersey. We'll start everything off here with a little breaking news announcement from Mr. Vineland himself, aka KB.
So do you guys want the news that we all know, or do you want the news that I teased in our group chat?
All right. Well, first of all, let's lead in with the news that we already know, because I feel like that's kind of the first. I think, at least from what I know, considering I don't know the other bit of news, is pretty cool. But I also had a group chat going, what a random ass thing that this guy wants to go out and make a golf course.
Yeah. So this has kind of been known. I think I've kind of known about this since around this time last year when we were planning our Green Jacket watch party, Steve.
Okay.
Our good friend Rob Bono was telling me about some of the details about this over at Eastland, and Mike Trout, the pride of, that's right, everybody, the tweets are correct, born in Vineland, New Jersey. The Trout National, the reserve, is making its way to our backyard. It's going to be, I have a post here from Northeast Precast, not a sponsor, but shout out to them because they are also involved in the project itself. This is on their Facebook page. So Northeast Precast owners John and Lori Ruga and local MLB All-Star Mike Trout are proud to announce their partnership in Trout National, the Reserve. Neighboring our headquarters in Vineland, New Jersey, Trout National, the Reserve, will feature an 18-hole championship course designed by the one and only Tiger Woods and a trend-setting clubhouse by Marsh and Associates. The clubhouse will utilize our precast foundations and will push our capabilities in the most innovative and fun ways. Fulfilling a lifelong dream for John, Trout National, the Reserve, will serve as a catalyst for job creation and economic development in the area, just as Northeast Precast has been for Vineland in recent years. And then we got a quote here. It says, when my wife Lori and I consider the impact this golf course will have on Vineland and our local community, it is extremely humbling. I am reminded of that great line in a song which says, "Why me, Lord?" states John. Construction is slated to begin later in 2023, and stay tuned to see what is made in concrete. Some awesome shots too with Mike, his wife Jess, and Mike and Jess's baby, along with John and Lori Aruga as well, and kind of a first look at what some of the course is going to look like as well. Very cool picture of just them looking at the blueprints and everything. This is super exciting, just not only because it's Mike Trout and like he is like local Vineland, Millville, Cumberland County like hero, but also like just the idea that this is going to generate so much in terms of jobs, economic welfare, bringing people to the city of Vineland. Shout out to our presenting sponsor of Underground Sports Philadelphia. Like it's an exciting opportunity and an exciting venture to be happening right in our backyard here. And for it to be somebody of Mike Trout's stature involved as well, who is just notorious for giving back to the community at any opportunity that he can. Every single year, Mike affords Millville baseball's team with brand new cleats every single year. He comes, and sends a video if he can't make it to the captains who are awarded to wear Mike's number every year. They're the ones who wear number 1. So he is very much about, giving back to the community and making Cumberland County like that much better of a place to be and a place to experience. And from some of the things that like I've heard through the grapevine, no pun intended there, Vineland, haha. Like there's full on plans for like this to be in the future like a PGA like relegated course, and like there to be an event or events hosted at this course.
Fascinating.
So that's exciting just in terms of like that access too is going to be there for us.
Also, gotta say, I'm looking at the Marsh and Associates website. They are the people responsible for the Vaquero Club. They've created the Dallas Country Club. They helped redo Colonial. Like, this is like a big time group that's coming out here and doing some really sick stuff. They also helped partially in the revamping of Riviera, which is kind of dope. Also, for some reason on their website, they create dealerships for cars. They have the Douglas Subaru and the North Park Lincoln. Don't know where those are, but funny how
versatile, baby.
It's like 800 different country clubs, and then it's like, oh, this Porsche dealer and this Subaru dealer in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, for those of you who've never been to Vineland, New Jersey, I was shocked when I first arrived there. It's like 98% farms, and there's a Wawa next to a Chick-fil-A. That's all I remember. But man, was it fun. Hopefully I'll be able to get back there again, and maybe the city of Vineland will hook us up with a tea time in 2025. We'll see how that one goes.
Yeah, we're working on some big things with this, and like the city of Vineland backing just our network as a whole is massive with this, and like, you know, the hope is to have, you know, some firsthand access and hopefully be able to have you guys, you know, talk to John and Lori about this whole project, and
Mike Trout,
you know, down the line, Mike Trout talk about this project. Like, it's a very exciting endeavor that I think a lot of people on the surface want to look at it as, you know, oh, so where did Vineland get, you know, golf course money, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you have Mike Trout, who is multi-millionaire, helping back this, and it's going to create so many just job opportunities in our area. It's going to create so much just traffic from people outside to the area. And from what I remember too, I don't know if this is going to be the case as well. There were discussions early on that it was going to have two courses, where one was going to be like private member course, and that would also be like the PGA relegated one if they were able to secure events there. And then also a course for, you know, the common man to go out and golf at. Not sure if that is still the case or not. But I mean, this course is going to be right down the road from my house. So that's also really cool.
Is Millville a hamlet of Vineland? Like what? What's the?
We're rival cities in terms of, you know.
So we're
in the same county.
So he's born in Vineland, New Jersey, but he played at Millville.
So he was born in Vineland, and I'm pretty sure he lived in Vineland for the first 2 years of his life, and then they moved to Millville. But if you want to piss somebody from Millville off, you tell them Google Mike Trout and look where he was born.
I'm now curious.
Which is why when I saw those tweets,
let's Google Mike Trout and see where he was born.
When I saw the tweets today from all the bigwig golf people saying in his hometown of Vineland, New Jersey, I was like, that's right, everybody. That's right. He's from Vineland.
Yeah. Trout was born to Jeff and Debbie Trout in Vineland, New Jersey on August 7th. He grew up in nearby Millville. I didn't know he played baseball at UDEL. That's crazy. Wow. Imagine that. Two of the most elite athletes of all time, Mike Trout and Joe Flacco, went to college together. Who would have thought?
Well, Mike would have gone. He got drafted out of high school.
Damn it. It says he played at UDEL. Regardless.
I forget if his dad played there or not.
Guys, my smoothie is here. Before I get into anything, though, KB, please give us your additional news while I go run and get my smoothie. I'll be right back.
So I'll let you run and get that smoothie because I need to see Steve's facial reaction to
what
this.
What I'll add to the Trout thing is that
yeah.
the fact that it has Tiger Woods' Midas touch on it as well, like that just expands it into so much more of an opportunity to touch the actual professional golf association. Like Tiger can really do what he wants when it comes to the PGA, and if Tiger says he wants this course to host an event, that he wants this course to bring people in, and like the traction that'll drive back to the town is just like astronomical to think about.
Yeah, it's so cool that, like, you know, you have that name attached to it along with Mike Trout, who are like two of the best to ever do it in their respective sports as well, coming together for this is so cool.
Bro, this is heat. Pineapple, mango, strawberry, and orange juice. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
You got every,
Shut up, you.
You got every red, orange, and yellow scaled color fruit in that drink.
Goddamn right. What came first, the orange or the color orange?
Ooh.
Chicken or an egg?
When did colors get invented is the question.
Well, it's really like when did they get named?
Yeah, name.
That too. Drop it in the YouTube comment section.
We're gonna have a lot of those tonight, guys. Get ready. Drop your comments for X, Y, and Z. And don't worry, we're gonna talk live too. So plenty of that too.
But the other breaking news that you guys don't know of yet is that I believe starting your guys' next episode, so episode 100,
pretty important episode.
Yeah. And then for the next quarter of fiscal talking, the Get in the Hole podcast is presented by Wasted Wedge.
No way! What a show!
What a show!
So Wasted Wedge, shout out to good friend of mine, Jeff Podosic, and their entire family. Grew up with his daughter Molly and his other daughter Erica. They started this company that is essentially, if you think of a shot ski for you party animals out there, but make it a golf wedge, you have Wasted Wedge. Super cool. The club itself unscrews at the middle so you can put it into the carrying bag, and from what Jeff told me, guys, the bag is small enough to fit in your side pocket of your golf bag, so you can bring this bad boy out on the course. They sell extensions for these Wasted Wedges and everything, so they can get as big as you want them to. And the nice part in terms of keeping it clean and everything, they've got the cups on the wedge, but then you just put your little penny plastic shot glasses inside, so you don't have to do too much cleaning. You just throw out the little plastic shot glasses, and you keep it pushing on the course. It's funny I meant it's more shots, more fun. It's Wasted Wedge.
I'm gonna be a liability for that fucking thing. Oh my god,
that's money. That's sick.
Very excited to bring them on board with us. Check out their website, wastedwedge.com. See all the products that they have there. They're going to be part of our live tailgate podcast as well on April 8th before the Phillies opening night game against the Cincinnati Reds. So if you're in the Philadelphia area, we are hoping to have product at the tailgate for you guys to check out and everything. But go to wastedwedge.com. They've got the Birdie Maker, the Little Birdie, Big Shot extensions, the Birdie Maker Vintage Edition. They've got merch as well, clean logo. Very excited to welcome Wasted Wedge to the Underground family and be the presenting sponsor for the next quarter for the Get in the Hole podcast.
Very hype. Very happy to have him on board. And I'm going to be an absolute liability at every golf course now. But I'm probably going to do a make a birdie, take a shot. Make a bogey, take a shot. That'll be a bad time.
That'll just divulge into more and more bogeys.
Yeah, just the bogey train. Which
is kind of the point, right?
All aboard.
I am, after all, the bogey king. So it
and also true.
My friend Otto here, the bogey bear. So it makes sense. It makes all the more sense. KB, we're 20 minutes into this one. We're kicking you out. We have a lot to talk about on this show. We're going to take a quick break, though. And as we come back, we have a lot to go over. Missed last week, the Dell Match play. Sam Burns takes on the win. We'll talk Sam Burns. Talk last week's win for Taylor Moore at the Valspar. Of course, some Valero preview, some news on LIV, and what else? Discussion on the Masters for Jay Dippold, Steve McAvoy. That's KB. We'll be right back here, folks, on the Get in the Hole podcast. It's time to officially bring it on in here. Welcome into the Get in the Hole podcast. Steve McAvoy, Jay Dippold here, joining you on another incredible week in the world of golf. The Dell Match play down at Austin Country Club left so much on our plates, and we're feeding and appetizing for more and more. Of course, this show and every show brought to you by our friends over at PHI Apparel Co. The Philadelphia Phillies, right? The Phillies. Trey Turner, the WBC hero, They got a lot of cool content, a lot of cool shirts, a lot of cool hoodies that you can go get. And of course, you get your hands on a Get in the Hole hoodie as well. Use code Underground, 10% off your order at phiapparel.co. And again, look, opening days around the corner. Get yourself some Trey Turner merch as well. And if you aren't a Mets fan like I am, you could always get their Muck the Fets shirt, which is actually kind of funny when you break it down. Anyways, Sam Burns, the mustache magician. I call him Bermuda Burns. Jake, you called him the mustache man today on your blog. Wins the match play, upsets Scotty Scheffler. I was at Bethpage and I was in the pro shop handing in my card. And I'm watching. It's like the 12th hole, and Scotty had just missed his putt from like 7 feet. And I forget who was on the call, but they probably follow. And he goes, 93% conversion rate this week. If you're up by 2 after 12 holes, what happens? Sam Burns takes home the upset over Scheffler, takes home what, I think like 3 of the last 5 holes, and then goes on to just annihilates Cameron Young for his second win, I believe, of this PGA Tour calendar. It's like his 3rd or 4th win of his career, all of which coming over the last 3 years. He won back-to-back years at the Valspar and now this at the Dell Match play. Sam Burns, man, top 10 golfer in the world. He's now finally back to form. What do you make of his performance this week?
Yeah, even more. Scotty on 17, almost acing that thing, would have closed the deal there. Mm-hmm. So, like, for that, this just kind of shows how golf is so a little bit luck to where if that ball just drops, we don't see Sam Burns absolutely dominate Cam Young. Scotty most likely wins with the separation that was shown there.
Yeah.
After. And like, Sam Burns just got hot at the perfect time. He won 4 out of the last 7. Like you said, 3 out of the last 5. It's just, when you're hot down the stretch like that, you're unbeatable in match play. And match play is literally all confidence.
100%.
So to see that, I think it's just crazy. And then, like you said, like him being in form now, coming out of this, it's a little bit different, evidently, coming from match play, going back to stroke play, going into the Masters week. But I mean, winning a big thing like that over Scotty, who is clearly odds-on favorite to win the Masters again, I think has to be the biggest confidence boost for Sam Burns.
Yeah, no, it's a huge plus, especially because he had ever since I think it was the waste management. He finished top 10 at the waste, followed up with 2 straight missed cuts at the Genesis, and then the Arnold Palmer. Finished 35th at the Players. He isn't traditionally strong there, but has now come back out top 10 at the Valspar, which everyone kind of knew was going to happen. Obviously, was going for a 3-peat, and then of course wins here at the match play. You're kind of seeing that form run out, but just because it's a match play event doesn't necessarily mean the form isn't there. I mean, what's the difference here? You're having a few good putts, so be it. At the end of the day, Sam Burns is now finally back in the form. He's back into the top 10 of the official World Golf rankings since late last year. I think the Travelers was the last time he was top 10. So he's finally back in. When he is a top 10 golfer, which I really do think he is, he's one of the best putters in the field. He drives the ball incredibly far. It could be a little erratic at times, but he is like the quintessential back-end top 10 player that I expect every week to go out there and give a top 20 or better performance. And what a great time for it too. Like last year, Scotty Scheffler, when he was going on this massive run, albeit had 5 wins or 4 wins before the Masters. This is exactly where you want to get hot. Top 10 at the Valspar. You win at the match play. Scheffler didn't play the Valero. Burns will be doing that. You go to Augusta, and they always say, like, these events, if you can perform well at the Genesis, the Arnold Palmer, the Waste Management, the Dell Match play, this is kind of what the conditions are going to be at Augusta. It's going to be very similar. You're playing in the Southern Fork. For the most part, yeah, you're a little more out west, and then you move a little more east. It can be a little more breezy. But that's totally fine. It's the same kind of conditions, same sort of grass, same grow out. So I expect Sam Burns to have a really good week at Augusta, and I'm really looking forward to it. But aside from Sam Burns, I mean, like I have to give Cameron Young his flowers. I mean, I get it. Was totally annihilated literally by Burns. I think it was like 6-5 was the final there that they ended up calling it after like 12 holes. But to upset Rory McIlroy and get to where he got, I think Cameron Young deserves more credit than we give him. He obviously he hasn't won a PGA Tour event yet. He's still kind of in that raw stage where he's an incredibly talented golfer, but until he breaks through with that win, I think people are going to kind of doubt him. Kind of similar to like Will Zalatoris, right? He was incredible for about a good year and a half, didn't get a win, finally got it, and next thing you know, broke into the top 10. Cameron Young right now is, I believe, on the outside looking in of the top 20 in the world. He's 17th right now in the world. Or no, sorry, he's 14th now following last week. He just jumped over Matt Fitzpatrick. So he's 14th in the world. A win will most certainly get him to at least 9th in the world. I think at some point you have to start looking at Cameron Young as more than just an elite golfer. This is the highest ranking he's ever achieved, and yet he has seven top 3 finishes in the last 2 years. The next closest guy is Scotty, and then of course Brian Harmon, who have 4. Like, it's unheard of how good he actually plays, and you can even date back all the way back to late last year. He only has 2 finishes outside of the top 30. Sorry, 3 finishes outside of the top 30, dating all the way back to the Open, where he finished runner-up to Cameron Smith.
Yeah, and I thought we were clearly getting a Scotty and Rory final going in late there. And for Scotty to lose close, obviously, and for Cam Young to upset Rory, just kind of shows that anyone can win at any point on the tour. I think Rory isn't the Rory that we thought we were going to get this year, and I think a little bit of it comes down to the pressure he's feeling from being like the face of the PGA versus LIV and him and Sergio's little battle. And Sergio calling him immature, which is just like the most like projected thing ever, just saying what you are against someone else. It's like when Patrick Reed calls someone a liar. And it's just been absolutely tough to see Rory not – I don't think Rory's reached his potential yet this year. And obviously he's still a top 5 golfer in the world. But I think if Rory was in the form he needs to be in to go and contend at the Masters, he would have won the match play this week.
Let me pose this question, because really I don't even think it's a matter of Rory not missing his potential, because it's either he's peaked, because if you go back to the Tour Championship, right, he finished 8th at the BMW, first in the final, went over abroad and finished 2nd, 4th, came back to the States and went 1st, 4th, between the CJ Cup, the DP World Tour final, finished 4th, the Hero Dubai won, and then hadn't played a play-a-day event then at that point up until the Phoenix Open. Had 2 rough weeks, 32nd and 29th at the Phoenix and the Genesis. Finished 2nd at the Arnold Palmer, missed the cut at the Players, which again was a sort of an outlier. The whole field wasn't really like in form at that point. And then finished 3rd here. I don't think Rory's necessarily out of form, but I am a little disappointed though, because I feel like it for what he's done already this year, it feels like if he isn't top 5, it's kind of like, what the hell's going on? Do I think this is going to be a downswing for him going into the Masters? Absolutely not. I think he's still more than primed to win. If he isn't already a top 5 favorite, which he absolutely should be, probably has been since the beginning. If he isn't top 5, he'll at least finish top 10. Maybe historically he isn't great at Augusta. He's more known for his backdoor top 5s more than anything else, which he did, of course, last year with that hole out on 18, finished like 3rd. But I think he's still more than primed to win. I think we shouldn't be thinking too much into this loss to Cameron Young. I think Young caught fire at the right time. He took 3 of the last 4 holes to win it. So, but again, to go back to the original point here, Cameron Young deserves more love, and he needs more appreciation as a top golfer in the world. I want to introduce a new segment now. I used to do it way back in the day, but I'm going to bring it back. It's called What's the Word? Bit of a take on PTI's word association game. We're going to read off a sentence. I want you to give me a ridiculous word to describe what I'm discussing. So what's the word? Taylor Moore got his first career win at the Valspar. What do you describe it as?
Luscious. I love Taylor Moore. And I think luscious just absolutely describes him winning that tournament. My dad, growing up, whenever he'd go on a diet, he'd eat green beans and just be like, oh, these are so luscious. And evidently they obviously didn't taste good, but that was his thing to convince himself. But Luscious just comes to mind when I think of Taylor Moore winning golf tournaments. And I think him breaking into the top 50 now, it's not the last we're going to see of him in the winner's circle.
I'm calling it warm. I have another fun association for you. So I went to a leadership conference for my fraternity, and we're all in the room. And this one kid, John, he's kind of like quiet, gym rat, didn't talk to anybody. And one of the activities that we had was to describe the guys at your table using one of the words that was like on like a page, and they gave us like 200 words.
That's
and
funny.
Everyone, for some reason, categorized John as being warm. And no one really knew what it meant, but it kind of just made sense. In a relatively loaded field for what it's worth. I mean, Webb Simpson played really well. Matt Wallace played well. Sam Burns, Wyndham Clark, Tommy Fleetwood, Jordan Spieth. And then, like, randomly at the top of the leaderboard, almost unexpectedly, Taylor Moore and Adam Schenk. Like, just a warm win and a warm welcome to the PGA Tour to earn your first victory. Goes 4 under to lead the week. In lowest score next to Rory Sabatini, win a 10 under. I think it was just a warm victory, so good for him. But Luscious. How are greens luscious?
What'd you say?
How are greens luscious?
They're not, and that's what makes it funny. Like, my dad would just convince himself they were luscious, so he'd say it over and over and over.
You know what is funny, though? John Daly texting Eric Musselman during their win against UConn. Apparently, Eric Musselman is not a big golf savant, and apparently John Daly was texting him both strategies and golf tips during their game against UConn. What is that?
The word I thought of, and it's not like a crazy word, but it's just on brand. That's just like, that like doesn't surprise me. It should really surprise me, but it almost doesn't surprise me at all, which is actually crazy.
I'm going to use a fun word, which I'm going to actually pull up the term most used in the 1910s to describe a good time, and no pun intended here because his big sponsor is Hooters, but it's a hoot. It's an absolute fucking hoot. Never have I ever seen John Daly like ever not do something that's like totally outlandish and ridiculous. This kind of just like ranks right up there. We're probably telling like Ricky Council to like go and do more ball screens and do something ridiculous. I also wouldn't be surprised if he was testing him things during the Kansas game when they actually won the game. But yeah, so and also Eric Musselman taking his shirt off after that win against Kansas was quite weird. Sergio Garcia, in an interview prior to Augusta next week, said that he will be fine at the Masters dinner as opposed to everyone else. Sergio is blank in saying he'll be fine as opposed to everyone else.
My word is profanity. That is just dirty and horrific for him to say that, because it's not even close to being true. Sergio is the most immature guy on the tour, and for him to he just shouldn't have made a comment. He just should have been like, no comment, I'll go, whatever. But he's just like, Sergio is so down on my list right now after calling Rory immature, after this evidently horrific statement. Just profanity coming out of Sergio's mouth. It's
divisive. Like he's trying to pick a fight.
Yeah.
And it's amazing because, first of all, you're in your 50s. Like, give yourself a break.
Exactly.
Slow down. Like, slow down. The guy who's notorious for beating up bunkers is going to go after the guy who's basically the sole responsibility next to Tiger Woods for keeping the PGA Tour afloat and keeping people's heads at bay. And then on top of that, you're going to go sit at a Masters dinner where, let's be honest, Dustin Johnson's probably going to be high as a kite.
Oh, yeah.
Phil won't even be there. And Jack Nicklaus is going to be staring you across the table and calling you a douchebag. Like, it's like, this is the most, like, you are in hell situation. Also, I'm not going to make any assumptions about anybody at the dinner. But when the average age of people there is deceased, I'd be a little concerned by some of the folks that you're talking about, especially considering the stature that you're currently under. So I don't know, man. Sergio Garcia is a little bit. He was never one to shy away from a dumb argument. Neither was Patrick Reed, and it just makes total sense why those two are basically the figureheads, along with Greg Norman, to try and just absolutely stir the pot. Final thing here before we head to break: some news on LIV. A Twitter account that I follow called the Fire Pit Collective. They posted something about an article that they had released about the state of LIV Golf. I want to rattle these off to you and basically show that, first of all, as the title shows, they're A, a sham, and B, they're in shambles. Players going into this year thought they had signed up for 10 tournaments, not 14, which everyone apparently is very much against. Franchises are going to be up for sale next year at a 9 figures apiece, but apparently those who were interested are no longer interested in joining them, except for 3, where there are now 3 corporation sponsorship deals that are TBA. The player winnings from the team component no longer go directly to the players. That money goes to each team's franchise, so they can't access the money, apparently. And now the one thing that everyone was like, "Oh, yeah, this is amazing" about LIV was that they paid for your travel expenses no matter what. Now they no longer pay for team travel expenses. Those are paid out by the player and the caddy, which is the one thing that all the caddies were like, "Wow, this is great about LIV. We get to basically ride scot-free." That is no longer the case.
That is absolutely mind-boggling. I had not read that article, but I mean, that is just that is insane. Also, the 9-figure number, that is absolutely bizarre. Like,
bonkers.
That is crazy. Like, I don't think I would buy I don't think the Oakland Athletics are worth 9 figures. Like, that's craziness. That is absolutely insane.
I'm now curious. Hold on. Things that are worth less than $100 million. Yes, the Oakland A's are in fact worth less than that.
Were they really on your list on that search? That's funny.
Oh my God, the Oakland A's are they're allegedly worth, their net worth is $1.13 billion allegedly. But in a very most recent sales proposal, they were offered up for about $99 million.
That's not bad. I'd throw a little money at it.
I wouldn't mind it.
But other than that, like the caddy thing is just so on brand. Like, it's just LIV's gonna fall apart. They can't keep up what they're doing and not bring in any positives on the bookkeeping sheet. Like even the Saudis are gonna start seeing that this is getting a little absurd with the money they're paying out, and they're playing golf on the CW and no one watches. Like, it makes zero sense.
Do you know that if you don't want to spend $100 million on a LIV sponsorship, you could spend an additional $350 million and buy the Arizona Coyotes?
Is that all they cost?
Yeah, $450 million.
Wow, they're like a pretty big franchise too. Arizona's pretty sick.
Yeah, but they play at a college hockey rink.
Yeah, we do have to upgrade. We got some upgrades coming.
Well, we're gonna have to. This is like me and my friends like debating if we're gonna buy a golf course. There's a par 3 course by our house that we're all like, you know what, this place is like totally bummed out. No one ever uses it. We're gonna buy it and make it better. And I'm like, I can only imagine what the value of it is, because it's also a range next to it, so it's like it's a cash cow. Anyways, we're taking a short break here. When we come back, the Valero Texas Open, a little preview, some Masters talk, and our prop bets and beer money for this week. Doug Winner, folks, right here on the Get Low Podcast.
Today's episode is sponsored by our good buddies over at Go Low Golf Supplement. Are you ever nervous on the course, especially when that dreaded foursome lets you play on through? Then Go Low is for you. Calm your nerves and lower your score. Use code PITCH10 at checkout today and get some of your own to try. Basically, right. It's like a little fruit punch thing. You drink it, the nerves are calm. It's just wonderful.
I can most certainly use that after my pitiful performance the other day, and my driver was totally off game.
I'm telling you, it's like taking steroids for putting. It's incredible.
Bro, explain to me why Luka Doncic, man, is like minus 200 to drop 30, and he goes like 25 and just ruins my parlay tonight. God damn it. I hate this.
He's a passer. He's a pass first guy.
Pass first guy. He had like 4 assists. He was shooting the whole night. Give me a damn break.
He makes like one sick pass a game, and everyone thinks he passes the ball. But, Stevie, tell me about the Valero Texas Open. because I don't know a ton about the course and I want to.
Yeah, so it's fascinating. First of all, I'm going to pose this question early on right now. Will they ever move this event? It's a Greg Norman design golf course, which makes it all the more ironic why they happen to play here. For those of you who don't know, Greg Norman also designed Mayakoba. That's now a LIV property, essentially. So at some point you have to consider, but also it's TPC San Antonio. So like, I don't know. Seems a little sus unless you're going to drop the TPC name.
Brief interruption. Follow us on Instagram at Getting the Whole Pod and at Pitch and Chips, because you may see a little Sharky Shark in our Almost Thursday post this week. So just keep an eye out. Steve, back to you.
Yeah, I never asked you where the hell I thought it was from, and I'm not even going to bother asking. So TPC San Antonio, notoriously tough golf course. It's kind of a shame they play this event the week before the Masters every year because it's a hard golf course. Guys don't usually play here. Jordan Spieth usually does. He's taking the week off this week. We're going to see some familiar faces. Some Corey Connors will be in the field. Hideki Matsuyama is going to be playing. Tyrrell Hatton, everyone's favorite leprechaun, is going to be in the field this week. And, of course, a bunch of guys that are trying to vie their way into the field this week, next week of the Masters. Of course, the winner and anybody who lands themselves in the top 50 will be invited to Augusta next week. And that includes Ricky Fowler. He has not played in a major tournament in 5 years. No. Sorry. He hasn't won in 6 years. What I meant to say was Ricky Fowler has not played in a major event, and I believe it's almost 3 years now. And it seems crazy because the fall from grace, and we have this talk every single year of like, what the hell happened to Ricky Fowler? To give you an update, here. So he played in 2022 at the PGA. He played two events in 2021, but has not played in the Masters since 2020. It's kind of crazy because for somebody like Ricky Fowler, whose career at the Masters on average finishes 13th, is kind of baffling. He needs to win this week in order to make the field at Augusta. I don't know if it's possible. He has had a pretty solid stretch as of late. He's been playing kind of well. He's currently the 59th ranked golfer in the world. Obviously, a huge boost from what he was at the beginning of last year, where he was in the mid hundreds. Has had some pretty good results as of late. Honestly, dating back to the Farmers, he's only had one finish outside of the top 30. Otherwise, it's been top 11, 10, 20, 13, and 17th. So playing well, but still needs a solid performance here to win this week. This course really does fit a strong approach game. Small greens. It's a notorious course for blowing it late. There's some decent water. Very undulated terrain. The rough's always super thick. Narrow fairways, which explains exactly why Corey Connors won here a few years ago, and why someone like Jordan Spieth has won here. So I don't know if Ricky's going to be able to do it, but what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this a lot, but I am a huge Ricky stay. I think Ricky is the man, and I think he deserves to have another good run on a tour before he hangs up the spikes. But do I think he can do it this week? I do think he can win this week, and I think the only thing stopping him is that little Lucky Charms leprechaun, as we said, Tyrrell Hatton. But I think this course kind of plays into Ricky's skills. I don't know what his approach numbers are this year, but historically, when he's playing well, his approach is up. And other than that, I just think this, as a Valero overall, I think is awesome. I think the cowboy boots you get when you win are the sickest thing ever. I have a pair of lizard skin cowboy boots that are my favorite thing in the entire world.
Okay.
And if I could just get my hands on a pair of those boots, I think I'd pay a pretty absurd price that I wouldn't tell my fiance about to even just touch those boots.
I must say, I'm going to Morgan Wallen in May and then Luke Bryan in July. I need a pair of cowboy boots, but
get that boy some boots and a hat.
I need a hat too. I need a Stetson hat and a pair of Tacovas like immediately. By the way, Ricky Fowler Ricky Fowler's 10th this year in strokes gained approach.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Can you guess who's first?
Willie Z?
No.
Give me a hint.
He's a big fan of a certain Texas college that happened to be in the playoff this year.
Tom Hoagie?
Tom Hoagie.
Wow. Look at that guess, too, out of me.
His total strokes gained on approach is 46, which is like crazy. Like his number is amazing. He's averaging 1.2 strokes gained on approach. Next up is Colin, Tony, Rahm, and then Homo round out the top 5 with Scheffler, McElroy, Schauffele, Hatton, and Fowler. And you know who's 11th? Akshay Bhatia.
That's your guy. That is
Watch
your
out
guy.
for that kid.
Speaking of the Valero, talk about Akshay for a second. I'll be right back.
Yes. Oh, all right. So, all right, you're rolling. No. Oh my God!
That is getting clipped immediately.
Tell me, I'm gonna feel so bad if his computer just fucking broke too.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God.
Oh no. Oh no.
What are you doing? So Jake 2, aka KB. Do you think Ricky Fowler can win this week?
I just had to say one other thing. The first thing I thought of when there he is.
Oh, he's back.
Thing I thought of when Jake's computer fell was that TikTok sound was, "'Cause tonight will be the night that I will fall for you."
That is horrible. I can't believe I haven't used these headphones yet, and they're plugged in. I've been wearing AirPods the last 4 weeks, so I was so much more mobile, and now I feel so restricted. But you guys still talk. I'll be right back.
I thought your whole like setup just broke.
No, I'm good.
So
I'm
funny.
good. MacBooks are the life.
Facts.
MacBooks are most certainly not the life, but I have a MacBook and I honestly don't like it all that much. I kind of prefer my PC a little bit.
Nerd.
It's my work laptop, and I happen to just simply use it for everything. Everything under the sun.
Oh,
Do you think Ricky can win this week?
I mean, sure. Anybody can win any given week, but will he? That's the question.
You look ridiculous, Jake.
Shout out the Valero Open.
Dude, you look like a space cowboy.
I am a space cowboy. Shout out Casey Musgrave. She wrote a song about me.
Oh, I love Casey Musgraves.
Fun fact.
I am going to wear this for the rest of this episode, especially because I almost broke my computer to get it.
Fun fact about Casey Musgrave, she's a huge stand-up comedy fan.
Really?
Is she really?
Yeah. She apparently like frequents Zany's Comedy Club in Nashville like almost every weekend.
Good for her. So it sounds to me like I'm going to be visiting her when I go to Nashville soon.
You do you, pal.
Works for me.
We're
Okay,
back.
We're back. And your cowboy hat is good. By the way, I love the photo of Ronald Reagan in the back. By the way. Yep, there you go.
Look at that guy.
So I see Ronald Reagan, I see JFK. What's the plane?
That's just a B-52 bomber. That is Abe Lincoln. This is Abe Lincoln. This is my college degree. This is the Declaration of Independence. This is a newspaper from the day after 9/11.
Oh.
This is the team that killed Osama bin Laden.
What the? So what I'm seeing is that your back wall is like a walking political statement.
Just a proud American, Steve.
I have nothing like cool to show you. I mean, this is my idol right here, Mr. Matt.
It's sick. I got something.
Yeah, my setup isn't nearly as cool. However, I do have something fucking dope. Game 7 of the Eastern Conference semifinal or quarterfinal. Rangers Capitals.
Oh, that is sweet.
Game used puck. Absolutely sick. Also, I love that you have a Frank head cover in the jacket. That's
Tiger in the jacket, baby.
That's amazing. That's Frank. That's Frank in the jacket. And then
in the green jacket. Shout out Masters Week.
I just have Otto. My boy Otto. Anyways, in other news, let's talk prop bets for this week and at the Valero. Anything fun that we should be looking at this week for our prop bets brought to you by our friends over at Pickup. Pickup, play the headlines, follow them at Play Pickup. And let's get rolling on. Who you got for props this week?
I love hole-in-one this week. Hole-in-one in round 1 actually is plus 550.
Okay.
And hole-in-one for the tournament is minus 105. So I think guys come out kind of pin hunting early. I think guys get a little more conservative late in weekends. So if it's going to happen, I feel like it's going to happen on round 1. So I think plus 550 with that minus 105 for the tournament is pretty good odds to jump on.
I like that a lot. No, I have one play. It's a matchup bet that I'm really interested in. I'm going to go with 2 Asian players, Hideki Matsuyama and Siwoo Kim. I will take Siwoo round 1 and round 2. For both, you parlay them together, it's like plus 300, plus 400. So I really do like that one. Now, look, the Valero is great. I'm going to give it its due diligence. But let's be honest. The one thing that's more important about the one thing that's more important than the Valero itself is what comes after it. We are only 10 days away from current recording from the Masters. And you and I were debating this. We tweeted it out. I said the Masters was like 3rd in line among the 4 majors. You said it was 1st.
Yeah, I love the Masters.
I think the Masters is great. I just think the U.S. Open is the best because it's the hardest. I think the Open, because of the history of the Open, like, kind of makes sense. I'm also not gonna be a keyboard warrior when I say this. But Augusta National is rooted into really racist and really like awful things. So they get a bit of a bit of a punch. But I'll tell you this: it is eons better than the PGA. The PGA Championship is the worst tournament. I hate it.
Yeah, I think they got to do something about that. And I would rather the players be a major, honestly.
Or just make the PGA harder.
Yeah, or
harder
that too. Yeah, that too. I love the Open. I have the Open above the U.S. Open actually. Which really? I think that kind of style of golf is just so cool, and it really makes you test your limits. But like just like Amen Corner and like looking at that golf course for me and everything the Masters brings, it's just unbeatable. Which
I totally get. With that being said, now looking at the Masters, we're going to talk a lot more, of course, next week about it. We're going to have a whole show devoted to it. But it's really important to hammer home looking at guys now. And what do we see? What's happening beforehand? We're going to give you a jump start on the betting markets. We're going to give you a jump start on everything Augusta related. And I want to start off really with who are the guys we're eyeing right now. Now, there's a real variety of players this year because now you have obviously the LIV controversy. LIV guys have played two events the entire year, have not really been in total form. Of course, guys are probably training and getting ready for this, but not necessarily there in terms of that, in terms of overall form, as opposed to PGA Tour players. Who are you eyeing right now? Who are some guys in the back end? Is there anybody who's playing this week that you think is going to carry in well? Is there any metrics for those guys playing this week? Corey Connors, Hideki Matsuyama, Siwoo Kim, so on, that is going to translate into this week. Who are you eyeing right now, this very moment, to possibly win the Masters?
Before I give you my picks, let me make a quick transition for you.
What are we doing here? Do I have to get mine now?
I think you do. If we're going to talk about it, I think you need.
Oh, fine. You can give it. Oh, boy. So you know what? You have 2001. I'll raise you 2021.
Dang, 20 years of the Masters are
20 years of the Masters in one episode of golf. That's crazy.
So back to your initial question, my 2 guys that grabbed my eyes right away is 100% Scotty Scheffler. I think if you're not watching Scotty Scheffler's range rounds, And I think that's one of my favorite things about the Masters is how good their coverage is leading up. Like I love watching guys range sessions when they have the TrackMan there, and like you just see like how they practice. And then the other guy, you already mentioned him, is Cam Smith. Like I think Cam Smith is a real liability to the PGA to win this golf tournament. And I think that becomes a massive storyline and a massive problem for the PGA if Cam Smith wins this golf tournament.
Yeah, I have 5 guys that I'm like that, and I've already put in bet slips on 3 of them. I think it's crazy how I think possibly for the first time as a golf fan, this might be the best field for the Masters we've ever had. Because over the last few years, if you've noticed, some of the top players in the world aren't necessarily in form. Scotty's in great form right now. Rory's in good form. Rahm's in good form. Cantlay had to battle this week at the Dell, but he's in very good form. Max Homa, for the first time in his career, is in exceptional form to possibly win this event. Xander Schauffele, really good form. He's even said that the paradigm has really been like a game changer for him. Tony Finau is live to win. Even Victor Hovland, his strokes gained around the green has jumped 5 strokes since last Masters. He's gotten better at chipping, even though he still kind of sucks at it. I hate to admit it, Zalatoris is still kind of live, even though he can't putt. Sam Burns is totally in this. Justin Thomas, maybe. Collins finally back with his putter. Cameron Young is more than live. Jordan Spieth. They're all there. 5 guys, though, that I'm really interested in. And I want to start actually with Spieth. Jordan Spieth, fun fact, for those of you Catholics watching us, each of the last 2 years, Jordan Spieth has won the event that falls on Easter. The Masters falls on Easter. In 2021, he won the Valero. In 2022, he won the RBC Heritage. And remember, final rounds on Sunday. What's he going to do this year on Easter Sunday? Possibly win the Masters. I've already got a bet slip in on him. He's someone who is more than live. Max Homa absolutely is live to win. He's been on fire. He's been in great form. He has a win already this year. Actually, 2 if you count the fortnight. The form is there. It's the first time in his career where he's actually like out there and live to win this event. In years past, it was always like, all right, he'll finish top 20 or he'll get close. He's there and he's ready to win. Tyrrell Hatton, somebody who's had a great run of things as of late. He's more than primed to win this golf course. All the metrics that you need to win the Masters, Tyrrell Hatton's been firing on all cylinders over the last 4 weeks. Approach play is up. Putting is up. Everything that he needs is currently in the bag and ready to go. This is the highest ranking he's been in almost 6 months. I think Hatton's more than live. A sleeper pick that I've been looking at, and I already have him in at 65-1, Jason Day. It's been a resurging year for Jason Day and Justin Rose, 2 guys who have been on the stage before, have won majors, have gotten to a point in their career where they're over the hump, but they're ready to bounce back. Jason Day, if I read you his numbers over the last, 7 or 8 weeks, it's like he looks like he could very well be a #1 golfer in the world again. At the American Express, T18, finished 7th at the Farmers, 5th at the Waste Management, 9th at the Genesis, 10th at the Arnold Palmer, 20th, top 20 at the Players, and then 5th this week at the Delta at the Match Play. Been on absolute fire all the way dating back to the Shriners Championship. This is a week for him to go low. He's going to overachieve. He's currently the 33rd ranked golfer in the world. I think he's more than primed to win. And of course, you got to talk about Scheffler, Rory, and Rahm. They're all quite there. I don't know who I'm going to bet on quite yet, but I will have a bet on one of them at least. And you're right. I think Cameron Smith is the biggest liability. Although I can very much make the argument, though, that I really do think that Dustin Johnson has a chance to win again. There's nobody else on the LIV Tour that I would trust more than Cameron Smith and Dustin Johnson. They're both gym hogs. They are absolute dogs. I could see them go out, shoot low, play incredibly well. So those are the guys that I'm currently eyeing. But I'm telling you right now, between Spieth, Hatton, and Day, I'm over the moon, and I've already got slips on all of them. They're all pretty good on the odds board. Like Spieth is in the 25, 30-1 range. Hatton's in the 40-1 range, 60s for Day. That's who I'm really liking. I already kind of jumped in on this a little prematurely. Is there anybody in the betting market specifically that you're also looking at?
Yeah, I think some of the LIV guys are sneaky good bets. Like I think Brooks, even though he's an absolute head case, is like a sneaky good bet at It's at 35-1. Like he always plays well at the Masters. He always plays well in majors, and he's gonna really have something to prove this week. The other guy who I think could potentially do something is Abraham Answer. I think he is a phenomenal golfer, and for him to be at 60-1, I think that's a little bit of a stretch for him. I know he hasn't really done anything on super big stages, but think back to the Ryder Cup when he beat Tiger in 2019. Like he has what it takes to win on big stages. So if he's in form, and the problem is we don't know how these guys are playing because I'm not turning on the CW to watch LIV, and like I don't care if they score well on these resort style LIV golf courses. Like I could literally care less, but they could come out ready to go. Like I'm sure Greg Norman's in their ears, like, yo, let's go get this one. Like we're playing the rivals this week. This is the big game for LIV, and like they want their guys to show out in the top 20. And I think guys like Brooks, guys like Joaquin Niemann, not Bryson DeChambeau, guys like Abraham Answer, like they're gonna they're gonna make a push to be in the top 20. And if there's, let's say, 5 LIV golfers in the top 20, or if there's 7 LIV golfers in the top 20, that's a big problem for the PGA.
What do you make of this on a certain green sports book? First of all, Brooks here is 55-1. Bryson is 55-1. Tiger is 55-1. What do you make? That. What do you make of that? That's Tiger. Crazy.
They must just be like banking that on the fact that he's played it so many times and has won there. Yeah. That like he has some advantage with just how well his course knowledge should hold up.
You know who's also really interesting down here as you go down? Tommy Fleetwood, 65-1 right now, had a really good week at the Valspar. He traditionally plays pretty damn well this golf course, and his metrics kind of all fit the course layout. Shane Lowry is 50-1. Sungjae Im is 30-1. You have some pretty good players all the way down on this board. Like I said, Homa is 25-1. Jason Day, as amazingly, I got him at 65-1. He's jumped all the way to 22-1. So Vegas knows something. If you want to really kind of dig down the boards here too, there are some really good budget plays to throw a little bit of pizza and beer money on. Corey Connors is 80-1. Keegan Bradley 80-1. Saath Theegala 100-1. Tom Hoagie, again, number 1 in approach play, very well could be a stat that really matters here, is 130-1. Kind of crazy. Kind of an oddball backwards number, but something to consider. Those are our early look-ins at the Masters coming up next week. With that being said, I need to mention this. Next week, episode number 100, it's the Masters. I've been on the show now for, I believe, at least almost 70 episodes. It's been a great ride. I've had a couple of great co-hosts, and Jake, you are just another line in some great folks. Hopefully, I will have a green jacket that I will be able to buy at a thrift store. I can wear next week. We'll be shopping, and if push comes to shove, I'm going to see if the Tony Finau jacket from the last Masters is still out there and about. But episode number 100, tune in next week for the Masters. With that being said, beer money time. Brought to you by our friends over at Kenwood Beer. You know, something works when you have Kenwood Beer and Wasted Wedge possibly as 2 sponsors. We're going to be drinking a lot very soon. But beer money time brought to you by our friends over at Kenwood Beer, Philadelphia's #1 light lager. Let's get right into things. The top 20 play at the Valero the week before the Masters.
We got a previous winner, the Untucked King, at +150, JJ Spawn for top 20.
I dig it. I'm going to go with hashtag my guy, Akshay Bhatia, +360, top 20 this week. And lock it in, get him going. He's really deep on all the odds boards. I think it's just because he's young and he's raw. But he's better than half the field this week. I can guarantee it to you. Top 10. What you got?
Top 10. I think this guy's been a sleeper all year. And I think at some point he needs to show that he's good at golf. And that's Cam Davis at +500.
I did that. I like it. I'm going to go Corey Connors, previous winner here, +240. easy play. I love Corey Connors. He does everything right, but he can't putt for shit. Cannot putt for anything. All right, here we go. Gun to your head. You have Corey Connors or Will Zalatoris to make a 10-foot putt. Who are you picking?
Probably Willie Z. It's Willie Z. It's Willie Z.
You know, Will Zalatoris is one of the worst players on tour between 4 and 10 feet, but he's a really good player from like 20 feet out. I don't know.
I wonder, like, how is his lag putting really good?
Yes.
Because you're not like I think he really struggles with like not pace, not ball striking, but more like
it's ball striking. It's totally that.
But it's almost like angle, but you don't have to worry about angles as much when you're going from 20 feet because you're just lagging it.
Yeah, exactly.
But my top 5 is a guy who I really have no reason for picking him. I just love him so much, and I pick him all the time, and he has yet to really do me right. But at plus 1,100, Andrew Putnam, I think, is just such a value pick for top 5. Like, this field's really weak, and I think Andrew Putnam is really good.
He hasn't been in great form as of late, but I'll take him at plus 550. Taylor Montgomery for a top 5. This is a get-right week. This is a week to get him back into the good graces of my fantasy team. I haven't played him in like 3 weeks, so if he can come out and compete, then I'll be really happy. Here, give me play this week.
Give me play Davis Riley plus 130, top 20. Nothing to say about it. He's 100% doing that. If he doesn't do that, Steve can kick me off the show.
All right, totally. We'll deal in with that one.
I take that back. I take that back.
My gimme pick this week: Siwoo Kim plus 110 for a top 20. He's probably going to be like minus 100 for top 40. I take him there too. Just basically at this point, it's a make or miss the cut. Speaking of which, special bet this week ahead of the Masters: make and miss the cut parlay. Who are you taking to make and to miss the cut this week?
To make the cut, a guy who I'm sure enjoys his fair share of beer, and I'm sure would love a good Kenwood beer, is our boy, Harry Higgs, to make the cut. And to miss the cut is a guy who came onto the scene a little bit at the Waste Management when he pretended like he was going to beat Scotty, and that is Nick Taylor to miss the cut.
Yeah, no, I was all in on Nick Taylor this past week to make it at his group over Cantlay. Didn't work, and I'm pretty sure it was him and someone else were the only 2 legs that I missed in like an 8-leg parlay that could have netted me like $17,000. To make the cut, I'm going to go with the Punta Corrales Championship champion Matt Wallace. Got his first PGA Tour win. I think he's primed to make the cut this week and play really well. To miss the cut because he is phenomenal at just melting under pressure, I am going to go against everybody on planet Earth. I am taking Ricky Fowler to miss the cut this week.
Wow.
Something tells me he's going to go 7 over, and it's just going to be all hell breaks loose. And it's pity party. Fowler missed the cut. Can't play at the Masters. Woo woo. But don't worry, he's going to Monday qualify probably for the U.S. Open. And if he doesn't, he doesn't, because that's kind of what Ricky Fowler does. Your winning pick this week.
This is going to be a real tournament.
Winning pick makes the field at Augusta, guys. Winning pick makes the field. Who's winning and is going to Georgia?
This is a real turnaround for the viewers and for the listeners. And that is my winner of the week and teeing it back up at Augusta, Ricky Fowler.
The sole reason why I took Ricky Fowler to miss the cut was because you're taking him to win. And as of late, I've gotten very lucky. You mentioned him earlier on. I'm taking Cam Davis at plus 5,000 to win. He's not in the field yet at Augusta. Last year, JJ Spawn made the field at similar odds to what Davis is now. I'm backing up a healthy Cam Davis. Get him into the field. He's a good competitor. Accurate driver of the ball, hits it long, puts it well. Approach game is top 25 this year. I like Cam Davis plus 5,000 to tie it up on the bootstraps, throw in his cowboy boots, and guess what? You're going peach hunting down in Georgia. Final thoughts for you on this week. We're going to take another break off the fantasy week, considering the field kind of blows. But as of late, look, you haven't been on the show, but I've been counting things off air. I'm currently 4-2. You're 2-4. So you're making headway.
Yeah, we're coming back. We're on the comeback. Masters week's going to be huge for us. I got guys that play well in majors, and I think we should count the majors as more, but we'll talk about that off air.
We do that.
But my final thoughts are, I just had in my head, I'm just so excited for the Masters. Like, the Valero's fun, and I love cowboy boots, and I evidently love cowboy hats more than I love my computer, as you saw. But I just cannot wait for the 100th episode. You guys built this thing. You and KB created this thing, and I'm just so excited, so hyped to be a part of it, and for me to be here for the 100th episode. Just a big thank you to you guys, and we are absolutely going to dominate Masters Week. That's all I can say.
Yeah, shout out to episode 100. I'm going to go in a totally opposite direction. I want to say fuck you to San Diego State University. The Mountain West has never made a Final Four. They hadn't made an Elite Eight since like 2004. And it was like Utah State or Utah Valley or Utah back when they were in the Mountain West. So I'm saying a big F you because I had you losing in the first round of the College of Charleston, and my bracket was busted from day one. So thanks to you, I hate you because I have the other three teams, 2 of the 4 in the Final Four. So let's go UConn, guys. Take it easy. With that being said, that's all here on the Get in the Hole podcast. Great episode 99. 99, as they say on one of my favorite TV shows. Shout out Andy Samberg. For Jake Dippold, Pitch and Shifts, Steve McAvoy, Masters next week. Stay tuned. Enjoy the week. Enjoy the golf. Thanks for listening to Get in the Hole, the official golf podcast of Underground Sports Philadelphia. Catch us every week wherever you get your favorite podcasts, and be sure to like and subscribe on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Get in the Hole Pod, and follow Underground Sports Philadelphia at Underground PHI. We'll see you next time, and remember, get in the hole!